and then you went through domain and range, but domain and range should be super easy. We've been driving along the X and Y axis for a while now. We hadn't done it lately, no, but you used to do it with piecewise functions, and my God, those were so much harder than these. The square root functions are nice. What body part did I say square root functions look like? What body part? And you said 5.
Arm, thighs, legs.
Then you said arm, so we'll give it to you. It is arm. It looks like a lazy man's high five. Like if I'm too lazy, I do a high five. And then if you put a negative out front, like on number 4, that makes us flip. So I've turned into a low 5. And then he asked me something about the range of number 4, the domain. It's still 1 infinity, baby. I can't touch it over here. The first place I actually can reach out and touch it is at 1. I can touch it at 1, at 2, at 3, at 4. I can start touching it at positive 1.
Wait, so is the range negative?
The range and the domain were both correct. They were both correct yesterday. Every group but 1 get a point.
Is that a negative infinity on range?
It's a negative infinity, negative 4. Did y'all not listen yesterday? Were y'all just kind of loud during it then too?
We didn't say a word.
Okay, well I would suggest going home. I get you don't want to watch Math Workshop again, but whichever problem you're stuck on, like I would watch number 4 again, because you would like to make a good grade. Because what day is the next test? It is.
We'll start Tuesday, but
And I'm going to give 5 the point. 5 the point because 5 got it out first. Derek got it out first. We're starting it Tuesday and we're finishing it on Wednesday. So we don't have time to spend a whole nother day on this. Plus, again, ticking time bomb here. You're about to be, you think your grade stinks now? What are you going to do when I don't know what you're going to do if you can't, focus during math class on your own without me getting on you. I don't know. I just don't know. Just bless your heart. Okay, I had someone come ask me a question this morning, which is why Table 3 is getting 2 points. Table 3 actually came and tried to do the homework, and they had a question about number 7, which is why I want to change it and get rid of the 3 right there. I also wrote that on the board. You had 4 problems you're supposed to do. And then the 4 graphs are on the back. You have to do the graphs and state the domain and range. I'm not going to type it in the grade book till the end of class on Monday, but after Monday, I don't want to see those 4. Me and timelines have got to be straight now because I don't want to see them after that. If I get done rambling soon and you want to go ahead and do these 4, I do have some graphic calculators in the bottom thing. Just make sure you put it back because, as you know, we're moving, duh. And I need my calculators to be in the container I'm moving them in. I don't. Thank you, though. I really appreciate that. Okay. Xavier was so sweet yesterday. He made sure everyone had one of these. If you weren't here yesterday, you didn't get one. Or I assume, does everyone have this?
No.
Okay, well then let's get everyone this. It might have been something else. So Xavier's walking around, he's got this, and you need to ask him for it nicely. You see how I'm talking and you're still talking? That's kind of my problem today. Okay.
We didn't do one yesterday, we need one.
Travis, I know you're trying to ask me a question, but I literally can't hear you. And no, you shouldn't have to come to me. I should be able to hear you from here.
They're both negative. Is
Okay,
it
back
always
in.
on this side, or is it negative to the here?
I can touch him down at -7. Like if you kept going, I could touch him. I can touch him at -6. I can touch him at -5. I can touch him at -4. Since I can literally put my finger on him at -4, that's why it's bracket. It would be a parenthesis if I could not physically touch him at 4. At -4.
So it doesn't matter which order. And let's say in another situation.
Well, I mean, negative infinity is always on the left, positive infinity is always on the right, so yeah.
have a question. I have a question. So, that test that I used to make up, I have no clues on that. Can I come in on whatever? Okay, thank you. Cool.
Xavier, please tell me you're done. Okay, 5 is getting a point because there's someone at 5 who's already freaking on it. Since the test is next Tuesday, starting at the end of class next Tuesday, it would be smart to get as much done on the study guide as possible, which is the last page of this note. So if Xavier just had to give you these notes, that means you haven't even had the study guide. Which means that, no. I know you mean well, but like I was mid-thought. Which means that you haven't practiced adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing the functions, which was supposed to be easy. That means you haven't practiced function composition, which is 2 acronyms. What are the 2 acronyms we use to get the point fogging off? You haven't practiced that. You haven't practiced inverses. Inverses were easy. We just swapped the x and y and solved. But more than that, you haven't practiced inverse composition, or where we had to prove that 2 functions were inverses by using composition. So my goodness, you haven't practiced all those things, and now you're telling me you're not sure how to graph square root functions, which is really easy. And now we've got one more section to go, so you are in so much trouble. Bless your heart, the test is still next Tuesday. So I pray you're going to be like 5, which is why she got a point. Okay, thank you. Which is why she got a point, because she's already got most of her study guide done. She's at least caught up to where we are in the notes, because she's freaking on it, and she wants to make a good grade this next test. I wish everyone else would be on it too. That would make my day. Okay. We do have one more section to talk about. And we'd like for me to use all my words today. That way on Monday you can just practice this and get your study guide done. Now you're already supposed to know some of these things, sadly enough. And there is one vocab term you really need to put to your memory, which is index. The tiny number written outside a radical is called the index. Now, the house itself is the radical sign, which you probably already knew. The number underneath is called the radicand. That's all lovely. But you actually need to know the term index because I've seen it asked on the ACT. Like, they'll ask, like, what is the index of this? Or they'll somehow phrase it in the question where you need to know that the tiny number on the house is the index. When they don't write the tiny number on the house, it's understood to be a 2. So looking at A, B, C, and D, I have to add the 2 on A, B, and D. Do you actually have to add it? No. It's understood the way it's understood to be a 1 in front of the x squared. It's understood to be a 2. But if you need to add it today, you can. The one problem with these notes is that they're so tiny it's hard to read some of the numbers. This is a 5. Okay, so what we want to do is to find the nth root of something. And we actually are already great at square roots. So A, B, and D are going to be super easy. In fact, one of these problems we're not even going to do. We're going to say, not happening today. Because I only want to do problems today that have real number solutions. So any problems that would have a complex solution, we're going to get rid of. Which of these problems would have a complex solution? A, B, C, or D? Why? Because that negative under the radical, so if you need to put a note to yourself. Because of that, there is no real roots. So we're not even going to bother with that one today. Now, I know you know it's supposed to be plus or minus 4i and all that jazz, and normally we would keep on going, but again, we're only doing real stuff today. There's just only so much patience in life we can have. Yes, dear?
If we
If it had a negative of the radical, your answer would have to have I still.
Okay, so that's what would happen.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so you should already know how to do A, so let's talk about A. What is the square root of 16?
4.
And literally, the problem said plus or minus to begin with, so my answer is going to say plus or minus to begin with. When I do y to the 4th, and I take the square root of that, how many gets to come out? And why? It's square root, so it's 2, he says. Yeah, that's going to work most of the time today. So if you know the fact that 4 divided by 2 is 2, if you're doing that with the exponents, it's always going to work out. So 4 divided by 2, we get 2, and that's the answer. Now, when we first started this, we did a real lazy man's way, and it could still work. Now, Abby Grace wouldn't mind it on this problem. She sure wouldn't mind it on problems like a to the 20, b to the 25. Okay, you could list them all out. Y to the 4th is 4 y's, and then what could we do? We did circle buddy, so how many had to be in our circle buddy? Now, and that made sense because our index was 2. So on sorry, I gotta finish my circle buddies. So on C, where the index is 5, we're not actually going to do buddies. You would have to have 5. So whatever the index is, if you're going to do this buddy strategy, you're going to have to go by the index. So if the index was 3, you would need 3 of a kind. If the index is 5, you need 5 of a kind. Now, you don't have to circle buddy it. I don't circle buddy it. In fact, we'll talk about the weird way I think of things. So I don't think I've stressed enough that taking the square root of something is the same thing as raising it to the 1/2. Like the square root of 16 is 4. Well, the 16 raised to the 1/2, that's also 4. So I don't know if we've stressed this enough. So that's one easy way to handle things today. Again, I'm going to do each problem like 3 different ways. You need to pick which way you like and roll with it. But that's how I think of it. I change my square root into an exponent to deal with things. Yes, dear. Yes, every single time. So if I had my calculator out, I could literally type in here. I can do it on Google. Yep. Oh, I didn't do my parentheses, but yes. 16 raised to the 1/2, and I get 4. Literally, so if I change it to exponents, it's going to work out as well. Now, most people don't like that, but that's how I think of it. And but again, I'm going to work things different ways. So if you don't like that, there are other ways. Yes, dear. They are in the bottom thing if you want one. Just make sure you put it back for me. Okay, part B is wanting me to do x squared minus 6 raised to the 8th, and there's a negative on the front and a 2 understood here. Now, Travis is right. The fact that you know 8 divided by 2 is 4, you can jump straight to the answer. If you understand to take your exponent, divide by that index, and get the answer, you'll be fine. Now, if you don't like that, I don't see why you don't, but if you don't like that, again, I do think of things as being raised to an exponent. So I would probably do x squared minus 6, x squared minus 6 raised to 8, all raised to the 1/2, because 8 times 1/2 ends up giving me 4. So do I, in my head, think it through like this? I do. But, I mean, is Travis right in getting straight to the answer? Yes, he is. And Travis is going to keep being right. So if you like Travis's way, roll with it. But again, if Abby Grace really feels so inclined, she could list it out 1,000 times. X squared minus 8 minus 6. X squared minus 6. List them all out. And she could still do circle buddies and say, oh, I've got a buddy. And she could still end up getting the exponent of 4 if she did circle buddies. Okay, before we deal with C, let's go down to 1A and 1B, and please make me happy and tell someone besides Travis tell me the answer to 1A. This is one you knew before we even started talking today, so I don't know why you're hesitating. Yes, yes, yes. 1 and 2 get a point. Okay, 1b. Yes, there's a negative on the outside. It's y plus 7, but what power is it raised to? Yes. 1, get the point. Okay, so if we like that way, does anyone not like Travis's way? Literally, I'm just doing 16 divided by this number out here to get the answer. If we like that way, life's going to keep working out. So let's look at, I'm going to write C again down here because they wrote a lot of stuff and I don't want to deal with it. So they said 243, A to the 20, B to the 25, and sadly there's a 5 out here. Okay, let's wait a second on that 243. But I can deal with those exponents easily. What's 20 divided by 5? What's 25 divided by 5? So literally I'm doing this divided by the number out here, this divided by the number out here, and I'm getting the answer. Now this is lovely, but it's not always going to work. Why is that? Two get a point. So Jessica pointed out, what if our problem was exactly the same? 243. But instead of a to the 20, it was a to the 21. Is 21 divisible by 5? No. But we would do what we've been doing. We go down 1, or go down to the nearest thing that is divisible by 5. So 21 is not divisible by 5, but 20 is. What's 20 divided by 5 again? Okay, so I would have a to the 4, b to the 5, but I have an a left over this time. So we're still going to have the same sort of thing. And thankfully, all your problems today I think are beautiful and always work out. But the remainder thing is still the way we were doing it before in our heads, where we were like, okay, 21 is not divisible by 5, but the next closest number that is 20. So sadly, if this was a 4 and we had 21, we would, well, 20 would still work. So there's potential you might have a couple more extra left over than just the 1. Okay, but I've still not dealt with that 243. Yeah. Now, how did Travis know that answer? Well, yeah, he does have the answer. You can have a point for that. That was smart. But why should Travis have known that? Bless you. Well, Travis has two options. Either he's just smart and he knows 3 to the 5th is 243, or he did 243 and in his calculator, what Caitlin was asking about, if he raised it to the 1/5, that would give him 3 as well. Most of these, I don't have to do this though. Your math teacher is really lazy. That's not true. It's just your math teachers aren't lazy. We just want to make sure you're not overwhelmed. So when we pick one, it tends to be a 2 to the 5th, a 3 to the 5th, a 4 to the 5th, a 5 to the 5th. We only go between like 2 and 9. We never go higher than that with you because, I mean, it's already overwhelming enough. Okay, let's go to the next page. I'm going to say words. Actually, let's go to the bottom first. Okay, so these are going to be Derica's favorite. She wishes the whole test was like 7 through 10. Actually, she just wishes the test was like 7, because she can type square root of 58 in her calculator and get a decimal. Evergrace, bring me your calculator, please, ma'am. Okay, so Derica for sure knows second square root 58. She knows how to do that. So it said 3 decimal places, so 7.616. Done. She can handle 7, she can handle 8. The only one she's going to have trouble putting in her calculator is this one, which is to the 3rd, and this one that is to the 4th. Now, I don't know about you, but my calculator, well, Abby Grace's calculator, it's not mine. Abby Grace's calculator does not have a 3rd root button. Your phone does. But you can't use your phone calculator on the test. That's dumb. You can't use that in real life. So, I mean, if I turn my phone sideways, I see the cube root button. I see one where I get to pick what root button. It might be a 5. It doesn't really matter. We're still just getting a decimal. I don't know what words I'm saying. But it doesn't matter because we don't have to do it that way. Instead, I could do negative 43 raised to the 1/3. Or I could do 71 raised to the 1/4. Because again, 4th root is the same thing as raising it to the 1/4. 3rd root is the same thing as raising it to the 1/3. Travis thinks this problem says 5th root, negative 43. Well, no big deal. Then negative 43 raised to the 1/5. Regardless, it's just Caitlin and calculator button pushing. So if she calculator button pushes number 10, the 71 raised to the 1/4, she would get 2.90103. I can round today. Now, Abby Grace has a fancy calculator. Your calculator may not be fancy. As always in life, it would never kill Caitlin to put stuff that's a fraction in parentheses. Or Caitlin always knows where that frac button is, and she could do that as well. Regardless, she's got to make sure it looks on the screen like it does on her paper before she assumes she's right. Okay, so, man, we wish we had all the ones that say use the calculator to approximate, because those are fun. And this is where I think they got a little too picky for the day. So I'm going to say it, and then I'm going to let it go. I'm going to be like Elsa. If you want to be particular with it, it's not a bad thing. I ought to be more particular with it, but I'm not going to. Okay, I know the square root of 36 is 6. I know 6 divided by 2 is 3, so I know this is 6y to the 3rd. Anyone not know why 2a is 6y to the 3rd? Okay, so the notes above explain that if you end up having an odd exponent, the way we have an odd exponent of a 3, you ought to put whatever has the odd exponent in absolute value bars. And the reason you ought to put it in absolute value bars is because if Abby Grace plugs in a number, let's say negative 2 to the 3rd, you end up getting negative 8. She can end up having a negative under the radical. We said, no, we're not doing complex numbers today. So if we're trying to prevent complex numbers, if we have an odd exponent, we better put it in absolute value bars. So like on number 2b, I know 2 to the 4th is 16. I know x minus 3, 12 divided by 4 is 3. I need to put this part in bars because of that 3. Okay, so I said those words and you heard them and they're great and all. I'm not going to count off or be mad at you if you don't actually use the bars. As long as you're understanding the, like, 12 divided by 4 is 3, 2 to the 4th is 16, I'm good to go. If Jemiah has everything but the bars, she's going to get all her points. The bars is us being a little too particular for the week, for my taste. Okay, I need help with these 6, and then I will stop rambling. Travis, you cannot help with number 1. I have an answer.
You know how, like you said on your phone, it has where you can pick the exponent?
Yes.
My calculator has that.
That's cool.
Like, all you have to do is just hit math and it's one of the options, right?
Yes. Yes. Some have it. Yes. Okay, so she has, but Caitlin's a good calculator person. That's good. That's good, Caitlin. Get 2 points. Okay, Caitlin's a good calculator person. She plays with her calculator like she should, and she noticed if you press math, come on, focus. If you press math, you can find that cube root, that x root, so you could type in a 4 or a 5 or whatever. So our problem we just did, that was 4th root 71. She could hit that, type in the 4, type in the 71. She's still going to get the same thing. And if Caitlin likes doing that, that's great. But if Caitlin asks me day of the test, hey, what button did you press? I'm not going to tell her. So if she remembers it's math and she can get to the things, great. If she remembers it's raising it to an exponent, that's great. Doesn't matter to me as long as she's got 2.903. But yes, that's very smart, Caitlin. Yay, calculators. Okay, but back to these. I need help with 1 through 6, and then I'll stop rambling about it and tell you what you got to do. I don't know. Say what now? 10 is... Yeah. 10. I only see 6 problems right. 2. Oh, thank you, Jessica. It's -7, u to the 4th, v to the 6th. Yeah. I know you know how to do square roots, Travis. I need to know someone else does. Yeah, that's an 8. Uh-huh. Okay, so it was 8 divided by 2. We got a 4. Square root of 100 is 10. Yay. Are there any questions on 1 or 2? No. You can't do any with an index of 2. Okay, so number 3, it's y minus 6, but it's raised to the what power? Abby Grace, don't answer anymore. 8 divided by 2 is 4. What am I going to put on number 5? And Travis is wrong, or whoever that was. It wasn't Travis, was it? Who was that? Eric, you can have a point. You can have a point. Because that was a good guess. That was good. But I'm not going to put that. Instead, I'm going to put, yes, thank you. Because of the negative under the square root. No. It's a 4. That would be awesome. Yes. 2g to the what? Is it h to the 24? Okay, so it was 2 to the 4th is 16. 16 over 4 is 24. Yes, God bless you. And this one is a 6 down here. Somebody. Drea, if you didn't get a point, get a point. It's a 6. 6 is, at least tell me what the 2y to the thing is. Yes, because 18 divided by 6 is 3. I should put the absolute value bars. You can have 2 points, but you don't have to be this picky. You don't have to be extra light landed. You don't have to. Yes, because 2 to the 6 is 64. Okay, so if we were really smart, we notice we keep using 2's over and over again. At some point in my life, it just started sinking in that 2 to the 5th is 32, 2 to the 6th is 64. Like, eventually I just learned my powers of 2 because they kept freaking happening over and over again. You don't have to learn that, but it sure does make life easier. You don't have to have the bars, Landon's being extra. Landon get 2 points. Okay, sadly, this page is yours. We're going to get rid of some of them, but not that many. I hate to break your heart. Okay, let's get rid of 2. Let's get rid of 11. No. Let's get rid of 22. Is it 22? It's a 23. Sorry. Yeah. Let's get rid of 2, 23, any of the ones with words. So 25, 26, 35's out. I can't words today. 44, bye. In fact, anything after 34, we're going to say bye. Because we've already practiced it. I like how I hear you just crossing out the whole bottom. That's good. So literally, we're going to do top half for the most part, and then 27 through 34. I will take a picture and post this on Google Classroom as well in case you're having a moment and forgot. In fact, we'll be even nicer. Let's get rid of it. You don't need to do all those in the calculator. We can get rid of some more. Hold on. Let's get rid of that one. This one, and this one. So if we're listing off which problems you need to do, it is number 1, number 3 through 22, 24, yes, so you're instantly going to put no real root and move on. 27 through 29, 31 and 32. And then Dre has already answered one. So you're like, Miss Compton, do you hate me? Why are you giving me so many problems? Well, one, you have all day Monday on it. Well, but you'd like to work on your study guide too. Two, some of them are really fast. Dre already answered this one. No real root. 18 is really fast. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 21 is really fast. Y to the third plus 5. 18 divided by 3 is 6. You would like, yes, I know what you're asking me, and Caitlin gets a point for this. She wants to know what the little indexes are because they're hard to read, which is why Brady raised his hand too. Brady gets a point as well. So let's see. This one is a 3, a 3, a 3, a 3, and a 5. On the
17, a 4, and then a 3.
yes, there's a 4, a 3, and it was an 8, but we got rid of it. And then the one up here that's 11 is a 6.
Are you going to clarify these on the test, or are they going to be large?
I am going to have them larger, and we will not, it shouldn't be any question mark ones, but as always, if you're not sure, please God ask.
Is number 10 a 3 or a 2? And then
10 is a 3, 16 is a 6, and then it's 4, 4, 6, 4, 4. Literally, I'm going to take a picture of this and post it on Google Classroom as well in case you missed one of those indexes or which problems we crossed off. Now, Brady has some free time. He would like to knock as many of these out as he can or do the graphing ones from yesterday because he's still got a study guide to do and he still has to start the test near the end of class next Tuesday. Okay, I'm done rambling. If you're confused, come ask me a question.